Yeah, I'm with you. It was a long weekend. It was just long altogether. But glad you're here anyways. We're at 1:15 on a Monday afternoon, and hopefully we can do that. Some of the Broncos cannot win, but it's all good. Yep. I'm not a Broncos fan, so I gotta say that. But I'm actually glad they're not winning. All right. Well, today we're going to talk about scams and schemes. This is in Unit 5. So basically, if you've been keeping pace with the course, you should have the whole course done by the end of this week. So you'd have Unit 13 or Lesson 14, or I think I have it as Module 13, Module 14, and Module 15, all done by the end of this week. So I'll be zeroing everything out by the end of this week. So you want to make sure you get everything in that you haven't got in, and then I'll be kind of pushing you because really the end of the block is just right around the corner. I think it's right around that fall break mark that we're going to be uh, coming on pretty soon. But this is one of my more favorite subjects that I like talking about. Is scams and schemes. It just kind of interests me how people blatantly just disobey things. A couple of things I need to go over. One is all the teachers are now are supposed to put this on here that telling you that this session is going to be recorded for learning purposes, and that this is in order for students that couldn't make it. And you could also review this for your own benefit, and that recordings will be accessible to us for up to a year. So we're just letting you know that you are being recorded and that kind of stuff, and and it can be used for educational purposes. So okay, next thing, just some virtual expectations that we have. If you just follow along of where we're going. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Sometimes I can't always get the chats exactly where I need it, but I can't always see your guys' questions. So if you just raise your hand, then I know that I can look in the question or the uh, comment box for your questions and kind of get that going. Uh, Make sure you kind of respond to questions. I know at the end of class you may have left or something like that, and I'm like, hey, you there, and I have to like kick you out of the class eventually. Um, so if you would just kind of respond as quickly as you can. I know sometimes we're on mute, sometimes we're doing things right away, but if you can respond to instructions, that'd be great. Also, if you are going away, there's not an away button on New Row yet, but as far as I know, maybe they've put one in so far. But if you just kind of let me know, hey, I gotta go do something real quick, I'll be right back. That helps me know uh, that you're not just, turned your computer on and left and being a slacker. Uh, Last one is use the chat tool respectfully. This class doesn't have a lot of controversial issues. In my other classes, sometimes today we actually talked about politics and everybody freaked out, and so just be respectful on the chat as you're chatting there with others and others' ideas and points of view and that kind of stuff. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little video. Now, this is a trailer from a movie that was made in the early 2000s called Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks are in this movie. But it's based on a true story about a guy named Frank Abagnale, who was a high schooler and ran away from home and started forging checks and posing as other people. He posed as a pilot, a lawyer, a doctor. If you read the book, he also posed as a university professor. So, the guy was very articulate and amazing that way. He ended up going to prison and stuff like that. But this is kind of a little trailer, and then we're going to talk about schemes and scams, how not to be caught by those. But here we go. Let's play this real quick for you.
Welcome to Miami Mutual Bank. How may I help you?
I'd like to cash this check here, and then I'd like to take you out for a steak dinner.
Are you a real-life pilot?
I sure am, little lady.
The jump seat is open.
It's been a while since I've done this. Which one's the jump seat again?
Dr. Connors to the ER. Dr. Connors to the ER.
This is irrefutable evidence that the defendant is lying.
Special Agent Hanratty, FBI.
Hello, Carl.
You're gonna get caught. It's like Vegas. The house always wins. Some nuts flying around the country posing as a pilot, calling the James Bond of the sky.
Hello, Pusher. This is by far the best date I have ever been on.
He's a kid. That's why he doesn't have a record.
30 milligrams of codeine every 4 hours. Do you concur?
I concur.
Dr. Harris,
Yes?
do you concur? Concur with
What, sir? Ma'am, I'm sorry to have to tell you, your son has forged checks.
I have a payroll check here I'd like to cash.
I'm working part-time at the church now. Just tell me how much yours and I'll pay you back.
$1.3 million.
I'll be choosing 8 young ladies to be a part of Pan Am's future stewardess program.
South America, Australia, Singapore. These are so perfect the bank doesn't even know the difference. What do you want?
To apologize.
You didn't call to apologize, did you? You have no one else to call. I'm looking for your son.
I would never give up my son. If you were a father, you'd know.
Stop chasing me.
I can't stop. It's my job.
See these people staring at you? They keep peeking over their shoulders, wondering where you're going tonight. Where you going, Frank?
Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around a cloud of terrain on my parade.
Sir, we're gonna let him get away.
No, Carl. You let him get away.
Nobody had a better rain on my parade.
I'm getting close, huh? You will go to prison.
You're gonna have to catch me.
All right, so that was the movie that was put out that was based on Frank Abagnale and his scam that he ran. He went and forged checks and forged who he was and stuff like that. And he started before he even turned 18. He was still in high school. And actually, I believe never graduated from high school until later. Yeah, he's fooling everyone. It'd be a lot harder, I think, to do it today because of the way things are set up, but he'd forge checks and stuff like that. So really, you need to watch yourself out there because there's a lot of people out there that want to take advantage of you. And you probably have heard of the scam callers. You've heard of people off KSL or people calling you all the time saying, you need to renew your car warranty. Just give us your credit card information, stuff like that. But a scam is a fraudulent or deceptive scheme. And basically what they're trying to do is kind of get some type of gain or power over you. Some familiar schemes that you may have heard before. One is called like a pyramid scheme. It's a type of financial fraud in which people join an organization in exchange for the right to sell others a membership. So what happens is you go and you sign somebody up, and then they don't really get any benefit except being in that organization. He's my favorite contact on the phone. Yeah, I always get one's about Costco and winning like $500 through Costco, I think, recently. Somebody said, we got a scam call from a guy who got mad because my supervisor caught them. Yep. I mean, and you get it all. I get calls like that all the time. What they're doing now is they're actually stealing people's phone numbers. So they may take like my phone number and hack my phone number so it looks like I'm calling you. And then it actually goes and transfers to somebody overseas and you have no idea. And so that's why it's so hard. It's like a whole international thing right now. Another scheme that you may have heard of, a big one's called a Ponzi scheme. Okay, a Ponzi scheme is closely related to a pyramid scheme, but the promoter generally had no product to sell and pays no commission to the investors who recruit new members. Okay, so basically they're selling fake stuff, right? Yeah, one thing that's good to mention there, Cheyenne said that the IRS will never call you. They always send you a letter. um, do not accept calls from the IRS. First thing they're going to ask you is, can I get your birth date and social security number? Which, do not want to give that out, believe me. There's also some other things that you may learn about as you're kind of going through, and you just got to be careful as you're rolling, learning about stuff. Predatory lending. What they do is they may sell properties to you that are worth less than they are using fake, false appraisals. So you want to make sure everybody is accredited that you're working with. You know, that people have the proper licenses. You know, there's if you need to go look up a real estate agent, you can look them up and make sure they are a licensed real estate agent. You can look up to see if they're a licensed insurance agent. You can look them up to be a licensed whatever, right? Because most of them have boards ran by the state, the Department of Public Licensing. And you want to make sure that you are going through somebody reputable, not just somebody on the street, you know. They also encourage people to lie about income, expenses, that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're just being honest and upfront. So then you don't get in the predicament that Frank Abagnale got in. So he actually was in a prison, I believe, for 6 months in France, living in basically a area where he never even moved out of there. It was kind of it doesn't show that in the movie per se, but it just wasn't good. So you don't want to be caught up like he was. Identifying predatory lenders. So as I said before, you want to look at people that are licensed in certain areas, that they have the credentials to back it up, that they're working for a credible company. You're not going to have like main people basically buy like people per se. How do I put this? So just like individuals lending out money. Most of the time that does not happen at all. Okay. Let's not forget Enron. Yep. So selling stocks and that kind of stuff that are not worth anything. Yep. Okay, so here's some warning signs of predatory mortgages. So when you're looking at buying a house, that's one of the biggest transactions you'll ever do. Unreasonably high interest rates. Okay, so you want to shop around for some of these things, make sure they're good. Multiple refinancing. So somebody like, we can just go and refinance you in a year and it's not a big deal. Unnecessary debt consolidation. So putting everything in, all your debt into one. Sometimes it's a good thing to do, but sometimes it's not a good thing to do. Okay. Balloon payments. That basically means you basically have an interest rate of a certain thing, but it goes bigger after time goes by. You don't pay it up. Negative amortization, which means that you lose money over time. Door-to-door solicitation, I'm very leery of some of those guys. Backdating of documents. So if somebody asks you, say, hey, just put that you did this day, you know? No, don't do that. Large loan fee from brokers. So some people just throw things in there just saying, oh, you know, you owe me a $500 fee for, you know, putting a couple things together, which is crazy. Kickback between lender and broker. So some people will use certain people and send it to the other person, and they get money off of it, but they're really charging you more, is what they're doing. Okay. Single premium credit life insurance. Life insurance is never you pay one time. It's a monthly or yearly thing. Okay. So please, please, please look at those. Don't be the one that gets scammed and loses money. Some other common scams that you can see, advance fee schemes. So for example, I was at a store in a rural town, and luckily I use credit cards just because I pay my credit cards off every month, but I use it because they're less likely to get scammed. So I had the guy behind me that I was with, he used a debit card and slid it through, and on the thing it says, "Do you want any cash back?" And he put no, but I don't know if somebody was running a scam or something like that. But what it did is he went and looked at his receipt, and it said that he got $20 cash back, but it was never given to him. So he went and confronted the people about it and made sure that that wasn't the case, and got things refunded and stuff like that. But if you had a debit card, a lot of them say, "Do you want cash back?" You got to look at that. It's a little scary. Okay. I love this one. The prize will cost you. It costs you shipping. It costs you all this other stuff. Online auctions. Okay. They're not through a credible place. Fraudulent jobs. Why do you think somebody would want to fraudulently post a job? What are they looking to get? So I'm going to put in the message, the chat box. What would they be looking to get? Free work. Well, I think you're right there, Kara. Your ID, your personal information, because you got to fill out all that information to your employer before you start. And people are like, "Yep, come work for me. I'm right here. Here's all my information." Pretty soon they have all your information and they can use it. A lot of time you give them your banking information too, right? Because you need to get to direct deposit it. So you got to be careful about fraud jobs. That's something that's going on. Any kind of money-making scheme, bogus charities. So saying, "Yeah, come pay into my charity." I saw somebody did a charity in Florida, and they got a whole bunch of money from it, and they got caught. They made a whole bunch of money, and they used $200,000 of it to pay for their personal expenses. So you got to look for charities. And then scam schools. There's a lot of different scams out there. So I can tell you more about that, but also people faking illness for money. Yeah, I think you have that as you're walking by, like, you have panhandlers. Some of them are legit, some of them aren't. You just got to be careful, Let's see here. Okay, how do thieves work? Okay, so they're very sneaky, as you could see, like with Frank Abagnale in the movie. So he's not going to take a whole bunch of money. You're just going to skimming, is what it's called. You take money off the top. Dumpster diving, they'll go in and get documents if you don't shred them, right? Computer spyware, which is becoming very popular. Account redirection, so being able to send your account. Phishing, farming, wireless hacking. A lot of stuff's done on the computer now. Stealing, shoulder surfing, all those kind of things. That's how they kind of work, and they just get your personal information and they start working that way. So here's some things to be avoided. One, don't be a victim, okay? So you want to make sure that you're being proactive, okay? You're making sure you're doing everything you need to. Investigate strangers you deal with that are maybe too good to be true, okay? Look up licenses. As I said, you can go to the Department of different licensing for stuff. and make sure they're actually a legit person, right? Always stay in charge of your money. Don't let people be in control of your money, okay? Don't be fooled by appearances. That was one of the things that the guy on Catch Me If You Can, he posed as a pilot, and the reason he started posing as a pilot is because people gave him credibility, and that credibility he could cash the checks. He's going to the bank that he was forging. Okay. Watch out for salespeople who prey on fears. Okay. It's like if you don't do it right now, no. I mean, you're not going to get a discount, or if you buy this now, I'll win a trip. You're trying to play on your emotions. Don't fall for that. Monitor your investments. So anything you have money in, you need to look at least on a monthly basis to make sure things aren't coming out. I had some credit cards that people were using in India and stuff like that. And luckily, you can just go to a place and dispute it, and they give you the money back on a credit card. Debit card's a lot harder. Okay, so that's why I use credit cards, especially online and stuff like that. Report fraud and abuse. So there's certain hotlines you need to call. It's very time consuming if somebody like steals your identity and stuff. Do your homework. Make sure you know what you're doing. Be wary of door-to-door solicitation. I don't really like when they come to my house, honestly. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. So, but that kind of gives you a little overview of scams and schemes and how to be protected. What your assignment is this week is all of Unit 5. So let me just share with you real quick. I'm just going to screen share. Okay. Oh, nope, can't do that. Okay, let's go to right here. All right, let me go to the home page first. Okay, so home page. Home page right here, you can see where the recorded lessons are. If you go to content, so just click on content, you need to do everything that is in Unit 5. So if I come down here, I got Unit 5. We got 2 quizzes in Module 13, 2 quizzes in Module 14, and 1 quiz in Module 15. If you've done that and everything else, you should be done with the entire class, okay? Which will be awesome. You'll be done with that, and then we can really, oops, I don't want to play that again. Then those that are behind, I can help you out any way I can. So, okay, any other questions, anything like that? That's the end of class. I'm going to stop the recording now.